Good day, everybody. It's Andrew here, and welcome back to my channel. Let's talk about Bernie Sanders and a video he posted a while back titled $2,000 Checks Now. See, this was posted on Senator Bernie Sanders' YouTube channel, and this is from last year, okay? So this is something he posted last year before they did the third stimulus check. But let's do an update here, folks, because in this video, Bernie Sanders and Chuck Schumer talk about the reasons why the American people and seniors need a $2,000 stimulus check, the various reasons of going through a pandemic, a health crisis, an economic crisis. Now we have inflation on top of that. People are struggling. People have paid taxes their entire lives. Billionaires are paying less in taxes percentage-wise than people who live in poverty, counting those on Social Security benefits. So I just wanted to give an update on this because all of these factors still run true today. Seniors are still struggling. Seniors are still dealing with inflation, even more so now than ever. Social Security benefits still have not been increased. So when I look at a video that Bernie Sanders posted last year, and he titled it $2,000 Checks Now. And what he meant by that title was demanding that Congress and Republicans, specifically at the time, he was saying that Republicans were blocking the American people from getting another round of stimulus checks. Of course, later on that year, Democrats took over the Senate and they approved the third stimulus check. Well, now Democrats control the House and the Senate still. People are still struggling, and all of these things that Bernie Sanders said at the time still run true. So why aren't Democrats doing the stimulus check now? Of course, Bernie Sanders is trying to include a stimulus check for seniors in this stimulus package, but it's not guaranteed. It might make it in this package, it might not. Some experts think they might not put it in this package and they'll put it in the next stimulus package in 2022, which of course would be completely unacceptable. With seniors having struggled throughout this pandemic, seniors have been hit the most throughout this health crisis and this economic crisis, as seniors' Social Security benefits have not been keeping up with inflation over the last 20 years, and your benefits purchasing power have been eroding year after year. So more than ever, seniors and those who are disabled on SSI and SSDI need a stimulus check. So just a quick update. First of all, I forgot to do the quick intro because I was so passionate about this topic. But do me a favor, guys. If you've made it this far into the video, hit like, hit subscribe, share this channel with anybody who you think might find this helpful. And also, subscribe to my second channel. It really goes a long way. The best way you can support my work is by subscribing to my second channel. The link to that is going to be in the comments of this video. That channel, we're going to have some updates. It's going to be a community for seniors as well. But it's going to be more of a fun channel where I'm going to go live. You'll see me on camera live playing bingo. You can play bingo with me, playing casino games, playing the lottery, announcing lottery winning ticket numbers. And it'll be live, so you could comment, I'll answer. It'll be more of an engaging community type of thing. Almost a way to forget about the serious topics we talk about on this channel. So please subscribe. And to those of you who have already subscribed to that channel, thank you so much. Again, the link to that is in the comments of this video. So this video by Bernie Sanders, $2,000 checks now. I'm going to play this video. I'm going to shorten it. It'll probably be about 5 to 10 minutes at most. But just listen to the things that Chuck Schumer and Bernie Sanders say in this video. They talk about people struggling, people needing stimulus checks. And those things are still true. Then they talk about the fact that Republicans are blocking them from approving the stimulus checks. Well, Republicans don't control Congress anymore. Democrats do. So they should be doing another stimulus check. Nothing's changed. People are still struggling. Inflation's actually worse than ever. So we should have another stimulus check. Republicans are no longer in the way. It's Democrats standing in their own way. So let's watch. I want you to watch this video for yourself. First, you're going to hear from Chuck Schumer. Then you're going to hear from Bernie Sanders. And let me know your thoughts in the comments. Are these things still true? Are you still struggling? And the fact that Republicans are no longer in the way, shouldn't Democrats be doing another $2,000 stimulus check now? Let me know in the comments. But guys, stick around for the clip. Let's see what Chuck Schumer and Bernie Sanders said. Again, this is last year when they were blaming Republicans for not doing the $2,000 stimulus check. So let's take a look and let me know your thoughts in the comments below.
The Republican leader has refused to allow us to vote on legislation to provide the American people $2,000 checks. He has twice objected to my requests to set a time for a vote on the measure, claiming yesterday that direct stimulus checks were, quote, poorly targeted, bemoaning the idea that some of the checks might go into, quote, the hands of Democrats' rich friends who don't need the help, unquote. Senator Toomey said much the same thing. Well, funny, I don't remember the Republican leader and Senator Toomey complaining about how a $2 trillion across-the-board corporate tax cut was poorly targeted because some large companies didn't need the help. Nope. When corporations get a blanket tax break, that's fine by the Republican majority. When the average American gets a little help from their government, it's poorly targeted. I hope that every American heard the objections by these Republican senators. I hope every American who has their water or heat or electricity shut off, or had eviction notices stapled on top of one another to their door, or had to choose which meal to skip on a given day. I hope they all heard the reason they will not receive $2,000 checks is because Leader McConnell thinks it could wind up in the hands of, quote, Democrats' rich friends. Now, let's be very clear. There is one way and only one way to pass $2,000 checks before the end of the year, and that's to pass the House bill. It's the only way to get the American people the $2,000 checks they need and deserve. The House is gone for the session. Any modification or addition to the House bill can't become law. Either the Senate takes up and passes the House bill, or struggling Americans will not get $2,000 checks during the worst economic crisis since the Great Depression. And Leader McConnell knows this. So he has said that the Senate can only vote on a bill that combines the checks with other unrelated partisan policies. Repeal Section 230, an investigation into the president's dishonest and bogus claims of election fraud. The Republican leader claims that President Trump insists that all three issues must be addressed in one bill. But of course, the president has made no such demand. President Trump couldn't care less about how the bills are packaged in Congress. So the Republican leader has invented an excuse to prevent a clean up or down, yes or no vote on $2,000 checks coming to the floor. This maneuver to combine all three issues is intended to kill the possibility of $2,000 checks ever becoming law. Just to prove it, let me make this offer to the Republican majority. We're willing to vote on the other issues that President Trump mentioned, all the issues the Republican leader says must be addressed, as so long as we vote on them separately. That way, $2,000 checks could become law, and we could debate all the president's supposed concerns. We can vote on setting up a commission to look at the president's roundly rejected claims of voter fraud. We'd also have the commission look at voter suppression and gerrymandering. That's completely unrelated to help Americans paying their bills. But we're willing to take a look at the whole picture. Just give us a vote on the House-passed bill so we can get help now to people who desperately need it. Just don't let these conspiracy theories and presidential fantasies get in the way of helping actual people, people whose livelihoods have been torn apart by this pandemic, people whose lives have been torn apart by the administration's mismanagement of this pandemic, people who need just a little direct assistance. Now, the president's term, thankfully, will end in 20 days. It's a term that's been marked by hate and division and turmoil. He has so far used his term to enrich himself and the wealthy. Let's close out the term on a good note. For once, he wants to help regular people, to give Americans a leg up. Let's allow him to do that. We have a chance at the end of this painful year to give Americans a reason to have some hope in 2021. The only thing standing in the way is the Republican Senate majority. In a moment, I will once again ask consent that the Senate set a time for a vote on the House bill to provide $2,000 checks to the American people. Remember, Democrats are willing to vote on all the other issues the Republicans say the president supposedly cares about. Just let us vote on a clean bill for the 2,000 checks. So, Madam President, I ask unanimous consent that the Senate proceed To the immediate consideration of Calendar 645, H.R. 9051, a bill to increase the recovery rebate amounts to $2,000 for individuals, that the bill be read a third time and the Senate vote on passage, and that if passed, the motion to reconsider be considered made and laid upon the table with no intervening action or debate.
Is there objection?
Object.
Objection is heard. Senator from Vermont. The senator from Vermont.
Thank you, Madam President. Let me briefly respond to some of the points that Majority Leader McConnell has made, his inaccurate statements. Now, I'm delighted that after talking on the floor of the Senate for years about socialism for the rich, apparently that has gotten across to my Republican friends. Of course, that's what we do every single day. That's why we have the incredible level of income and wealth inequality that exists in this country, because decade after decade, we have used this body to provide massive tax breaks to the rich, provided corporate welfare to corporations who don't need it. That is socialism for the rich. Majority Leader is right. But let's talk about, in fact, what is in this bill. According to the Tax Policy Center, less than 1% of the benefits of the direct payments, that's the $2,000 per working class adult that Senator Schumer and I are talking about, less than 1% would go to the top 5% of Americans. Virtually nothing goes to the very, very rich. Overwhelming majority of those funds go to the middle class, the working class, low-income people who, in the midst of this pandemic, are in desperate economic condition. Now, again, I am delighted to hear the Majority Leader talking about socialism for the rich, and I hope we will continue that discussion in the next session. So let me talk about the socialism for the rich that the Majority Leader is enthusiastically supportive of. Majority Leader helped lead this body to pass Trump's tax bill. Now, you want to talk about socialism for the rich, Mr. Majority Leader? Under that bill, Charles Koch, one of the very richest people in America, he has a net worth of $113 billion. That bill gave Mr. Koch a $1.4 billion tax break. Majority Leader, that sounds to me like socialism for the rich. But that's not all. Way in Nevada, we have a gentleman named Sheldon Adelson, a major contributor to the Republican Party, big funder for Donald Trump. Under that same tax bill, led by the Majority Leader, Sheldon Adelson received a $560 million tax break. Guy who's worth $34 billion desperately needed that tax break, $560 million. Want more tax breaks for the rich? Want to talk about socialism for the rich? Senator McConnell had no problem giving a $104 million tax refund to Amazon over the past 3 years, despite the fact that that company made $30 billion in profit. So the argument that this bill in any significant way benefits the rich is just not accurate. But let us talk about who this bill does benefit. This bill benefits tens of millions of Americans who, as a result of this pandemic, have lost their lives, lost their jobs, they have lost their jobs, they have lost their incomes, and some, in fact, have lost their lives. These are people who are going hungry today. We are seeing, Madam President, a record-breaking level of hunger in America today, in the richest country in the history of the world. All over this country, and I receive emails from people all over this country, people are frightened to death that they are going to be evicted from their homes. And think about what a $4,000 check or a $5,000 check would mean to those struggling families, husband, wife, kids.